Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. A few weeks ago, I did a show telling you about the stocking brook trout in waters that have native brook trout. And I made a statement where I said, the only two native fish that we really have up here is brook trout and lake trout. Well, brook trout aren't even a trout, actually. They're a char. But anyway, these are our native cold water fish. And we talked all about the fact that when you put stockfish into some of these ponds that hold native fish, a lot of times these stockfish become like an invasive species. That system, that water system, may only support so many fish, and it could really destroy it for the future fishing of that body of water. Well, here's my point. People that had listened to the show have contacted us and said, Don's wrong. Brook trout and lake trout aren't the only native fish. Well, they are the only native cold water fish when we talk about cold waters, deep cold waters, and that's trout and salmon. However, perch are a native fish to this area. Perch have been here for thousands of years. And most of us love perch. Perch can be extraordinarily dangerous if they're introduced to a body of water that has trout. But that's not the point. I made a mistake in saying that those were our only native fish. I believe northern pike are probably native to our area. But I think the most important thing here is to just realize that there's always dangers that can happen if we're not careful in protecting the fisheries that we have. And these ponds in particular can be very fragile. One of the things that's the biggest threat to any population that lives in these cold water ponds is the acid fallout from the rains. Acid rain can wipe out a population. Now, there are other ways to protect that or to make that water more livable, and that is to introduce lime, which is going to take the acidic factor and mitigate it a bit and make it possible for these fish to live there. But I think the important thing is to realize that if we are fishing any of these ponds in our area that hold lake trout or brook trout, that it can be something that we can take steps to try to protect. And one of those steps is not to use minnows. Minnows can be shiners, they can be dace, they can be a number of different fish. But if those fish survive in a body of water like that and can multiply quickly, and they can really upset the balance, and that's what we're talking about. So I apologize for passing any information on that is incorrect. I'm certainly far from perfect, and I certainly do make mistakes. But I want us to realize that by having information that can help protect and help these populations to survive, it's important for all of us, especially those of us that love fishing. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.